Turns out what doesn't kill you really does make you stronger. A new study out of Scandinavia reveals that athletes who have experienced 3 to 13 adverse life events significantly outperformed those who had experienced a lower number of life events.
That's right. Here to explain that is Dr. Sapna Parikh. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Morning,
You're
Doctor.
welcome. All right, so explain why this is. Adversity makes us stronger.
Right, which we kind of knew from a mindset perspective. What they tried to do was sort of take that a step further and say, okay, well, we know if you've been through stuff in your life that it makes you have a better mindset, but they tried to take it a step further and see how does your body react. And they found that having a moderate number of life events, so things like being in a car accident, your parents were divorced, having deaths in the family, they found that your body actually had a better cardiovascular response to future stressful events. That your body was sort of ready, but in a challenge state, in a good way.
How does that work? How's your body know to do that?
So they sort of measured, it's not a perfect study, they looked at about 100 people, and they had them fill out surveys for what they've been through, and then they had them do a dart exercise where
Throwing
they had
darts?
to throw, right, but they tried to build up the pressure, create a stressful environment. So it's not a perfect study, but what they found was if you've been through, the sweet spot was 4 to 7 events, and overall the 3 to 13, like you talked about, they found that it creates a better assessment of the situation. You view it like, okay, this is manageable.
Do you think it's because it teaches you to fight? I mean, if you've gone through some situations that are not ideal, maybe it's actually, you can make lemonade out of those events because it's teaching you to fight. And
Yes, it teaches you to fight and how to view a situation as more manageable. They tried to calculate, you know, how you view demands and your resources, and basically they found that people who've been through some of these things, you're more likely to view it as like, I got this, I have the resources, I don't see it as demanding as somebody else might, versus a threat.
So, Doctor, would you say that for parents whose children are going through that, for instance, it's a divorce or one of those other life events you were talking about, rather than try to handle all the stress for the kids and keep them out of it, let them go ahead and be exposed to at least a portion of it because it's going to build them up in the long term?
Yes, and that's kind of what they're saying too. You know, don't try to shelter that. Creating more competition or sort of putting yourself out there creates the opportunity for success, but also for failure, which depending on how you handle it can be a good thing and can even help you perform better in future stressful situations. I mean, I know there's a limit, but that's sort of the silver lining of, you know, making the most.
all right, you got to go through the valley to get to the mountain. It's not only mentally going to make you better, but physically better too.
But physically better too. Your body sort of reacts in a better stress way to future.
All right, very good. Doctor, thank you very much.